Welcome back to another episode here. This is the one I had promoted, and uh, I don't know how else to put this other than the fact that this is going to be one of the hardest conversations that probably we will ever have on this channel, skirting censorships and the subject matter involved in this. I feel like this is going to be an attack. We all know this is coming. But we're going to be talking about the LGB community, the problems behind that, and some of the things that really do need to be addressed because it has become incredibly psycho. Now, from the people we have right now, we have a straight white male, a straight white female, detransition Mexican, and a lesbian woman to kind of talk. And I wish we would have had more, but maybe we can pick up this topic later on if this if this isn't taken down. I will be uploading this to Rumble because even though we are a very small channel, we're already under attack. It's becoming a thing with YouTube. Like the first one we had, it was brought down because I had talking about the Pfizer documents being leaked. Just showed you where it was and a little bit about that was taken down for COVID misinformation. I appealed it, and they came back saying, well, no, it goes against the WHO anyway, so fuck you. The second one was I was talking about protests around the world that have happened since 2017, involving the government. It's not just us. It was taken down for violent extremism and somehow inciting violence, even though I said nothing about that other than what are we doing here? Why are we talking about what bathrooms we need to use? That kind of thing. So this will be going to Rumble as well. As a matter of fact, from here on out, every single episode that we do, everything that we do, I will download it and I will upload it to our Rumble account, which we'll get into more once I get all that set up. But tonight, like I said, we're talking about the problems within the LGB community, and I will explain a little bit as to why I refuse to add anything other than that. With us tonight, of course, we've got Abel Garcia. How you doing, Abel?
I want to go home already.
Oh, you already scared?
You know me.
You already home. What are you talking about?
Okay, fine. Bye.
All right, since we got him leaving already, with us tonight, of course, we have let's see, who did I put up here? FreelyAshley. Ashley, how you doing today? Nothing? Ashley?
I'm doing well.
Okay, there we go. All right. This is like your third appearance on the show, and I'm glad you're here. I really let me switch back here. I really wanted you here on this because we've had a couple of conversations before, and you really do bring some good insight, and you're upbeat about everything, but you kind of do. You make at least me think, and I hope everybody else out there as well. So I appreciate you joining. This was kind of I did ask our other guest as well, which I will introduce in a minute. I wanted you to be here as well because I feel like you could add a lot more thought to the conversation and in-depth kind of questioning about things from the way you are. But I appreciate the hell out of you coming on as well, kind of a little bit last minute. Our other guest as well, we have on TikTok, it's Rightsidelesbian Art 2 TOO. How you doing tonight, right side?
Doing all right. Doing okay. Hanging in there.
All right. He's got a little bit of a little virtual green screen going on to kind of hide the background, so she'll be cutting out a little bit here and there as far as visuals are concerned, but we'll work with that. Of course, Abel is still gone, like always. Oh, now he's back. Okay. Oh,
Okay, what I missed? I had to go get some.
You son of a bitch! This is what you had to do. You left to bring out the mug.
I had to get something to drink.
Do I have to bring out my mug too? You son of a bitch! All right.
I'm thirsty. What do you want me to do?
All right. So now that we got this going on, okay. So this is going to be on different platforms. Some of the, like I said, I'm going to put this on Rumble. I want everybody to give a little bit of a background on yourselves because I feel like this is going to be something that's we're not trying to go too controversial, but it will take some heat. I guarantee that. So, Abel, start us off. Who are you?
Well, I'm your co-host, and I'm the only Mexican in this platform right now. But besides that, I'm also a detransitioner. Well, our viewers already know what that is. For our two guests who don't know what that means, it means I am a former transgender. Obviously, I'm a man, so that means I was a transgender woman. I was crazy as shit, but I'm not as crazy. I was not as crazy as the ones you see on the internet nowadays.
Are you sure about that? You double agent motherfucker.
Okay, just because I have skinny titties don't mean
you even fucked that up. All right.
Just because I have skittle titties don't mean I'm a bad guy.
For everybody that's involved, for the new people and everything, we had made a joke because, like I had said before the show began, he had some excess tissue and stuff removed from his implants, and things got a little bit disturbing looking, and his areolas. Are we doing it here? Go ahead. Let me flip the camera. Go ahead, do it again.
You're gonna get banned.
I've already done this 12 other times on 12 other streams.
Oh, okay.
And that's on a bare minimum.
You're effing mom. You're not being ignored. Hold on. But yeah, that right there used to be like bright red kind of things, and nothing looked right. It looked like Skittles had been placed on his chest, so we called them titty Skittles. So
Skittle titties.
And he even fucked that up. But
you know what? It's not my fault that I got implants and then I got them removed, and then I
it
my chest.
Totally is.
You know what? Is it my fault that they went black and died?
Yes, it is. It is 100% your fault. But all right, Ashley.
Of course, the white man always blames the Mexicans.
Little background about you.
Yeah, so I'm a former leftist. I started making my transition, my political shift is what I call it, my big shift, somewhere around 2017 to 2019, and then by 2020, I was like, okay, yep, I'm definitely conservative. And I made a TikTok and started sharing my political views just because I wanted a place to talk about that kind of stuff. I don't really have a whole lot of people in my life that I can freely talk to. It's kind of the whole point of the FreelyAshley thing. I just wanted a place that I could just be myself and say what I think. And I enjoy being on here. It's always a lot of fun, so I'm excited.
All right. And like I said, I'm glad you're here as well. I found her off TikTok, and just her story. We've done a little walkaway story that's on YouTube. I don't know if Twitch. I don't know if I saved that on Twitch, but she's a really intelligent woman, and I do love talking to her because she's got views from both sides. Kind of, she calls herself conservative, but she's kind of like me, politically homeless. But yeah, I'm still sticking to that. I don't care what you say. You may have a conservative leaning, but you are politically homeless because we have our problems.
I'm a weird hybrid, I think. I label myself as conservative. It's just the easiest thing to call myself really. But yeah, there's a lot of conservatives who don't agree with me, and there's all the leftists hate me. So y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, and as far as that goes, right side, we got a little talker here in Twitch. Your effing mom says, "Please tell right side lesbian art that I am here." It's Daft 1776. There you go. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a lesbian. Been that way pretty much my whole life, and I used to lean extremely left. Loved Ani DeFranco concerts and that. And then in around 2019, 2020, when the vid started going around, I started waking up, and then I had to come out of the closet all over again as a conservative. It didn't go as well as the first time I came out of the closet, and that was in the freaking early 80s. So now I am an independent, non-conforming conservative. I don't follow anybody's rules. I am independent. I don't conform to leftist rules. I don't conform to rights views either. I am a free thinker. I think for myself. I make decisions for myself. I don't parrot things unless that thing is accurate. And I love conspiracy theories. X-Files all the way.
Conspiracy theories are always fun. I will admit that. Like, going down that rabbit hole, like, the only ones I really can't get behind are, like, Flat Earth. Like, come on. That's just dumb.
Don't get me started. Don't get me I changed my background for you, though.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Now y'all see at my house.
Nah, we got you. And I appreciate the hell out of you coming on as well. This is the main topic I wanted to talk about. When I came across your video, it was the whole, it was an unpopular opinion kind of thing. That was the one I had promoted on the channel here. And it was you talking about how if you had known fighting for your rights as a lesbian back in the day would be this is how it's going to be. This is the talk that we're going to have, and skirting around that language. But if you had known fighting for gay rights would be putting people like fans of the playground and people involved with children that shouldn't be, why we have to do this. Fucking hate you, YouTube. But if you'd have known that would be part of your community, that you wouldn't have done that.
I think.
Go ahead.
If I would have known that there would be no more gay community, that there would be what there is now, I wouldn't have done it. Because there is the gay community I grew up in is no more. It's gone.
Right.
And now it's pronouns, it's 100-something genders, it's children changing their biology, it's parents pushing that, it's extreme intimate education in schools, it's supporting things that anybody I know as a gay person, anybody that I am know and talk to on a regular basis, none of us would support, and a lot of the trans people I know also do not support those things. So had I known that gay community was going to turn into what it is now, I wouldn't have done it, because if those of us, I went through real discrimination. I was raped. I was sexually assaulted. I was kicked out of the Marine Corps. I was fired from jobs. I had people pull their children away from me in malls because they thought they would catch it. Those things actually really happened to me. It wasn't a hypothetical situation. Oh, well, we're getting discriminated. No, those things actually happened to me. A guy actually raped me and then came back and kidnapped me and sexually assaulted me. A guy actually handcuffed me to a pool table and told me I needed the right man.
Wow.
Those things really happened to me. So I was very determined to fight for rights but I wasn't, I want nobody to get this twisted. The rights I was fighting for were for gays and lesbians and the small amount of people who actually really suffer from gender dysphoria to be treated as equals, not people who are walking their dog extensively on the playground for reasons that are not to walk the dog. I do not support them. I will never fight for their rights. And had I known that that's what was going to happen, I wouldn't have done it. I would have. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't have fought for my rights. I probably would have chosen different methods by which, because gay people are a real thing, they exist. But it's only about 6% of the population. All the rest of the people are, just swimming in the ocean and trying to call themselves a mermaid.
That is true. I'll give you that. Now, growing up, we've had. I do have to give a little bit of a background here. Yes, my wife is in the chat on YouTube. She says, "Get it right." I sent her video to you. Yes, she did. My wife is the one that made my attention go to right side as far as that goes. That video was sent to me by my wife. She's just like, "Hey, check this out." But yeah, growing up as a kid, of course we had gay kids, we had lesbian kids, we had bisexual kids, and with us, I really didn't care. Nobody cares. Look, nobody cares. Like, your sexuality is the least interesting thing about you. Okay? And for that to be shoved into the forefront of everything like it has been, you created a trend. You literally have. You've created a trend where a whole bunch of people, including the co-host, Abel, who can back this up, becomes a whole thing of, well, maybe I played with dolls as a kid. Maybe I'm a girl, I don't like playing with dolls. I like climbing trees. I like the color blue. Maybe I'm a boy. Well, all of a sudden it's come to the whole point now where chop off your dick and balls and get your boobs removed very early on before you even know anything. Hold on. Go ahead.
I said I will be quoting Alex Stein, but cut off your dingling.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna curve my language. I don't give a shit. Like, there are some things, because I don't want this debate taken down. I think this is going to be a good conversation. There are things that I'm going to say, like, groomer is now like a bannable offense on Reddit and Twitter and things like that.
Please tell me it's not bannable here on YouTube, because I just posted a video recorded a few months ago with the word groomer every fifth word.
It's not bannable yet, but we all know how YouTube rolls. I was going to say Twitch, but we all know how YouTube rolls. Once they start banning things, you could say something from a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden that's a strike on your channel. It's some bullshit because, whatever. That's what they do. It's a problem because we can't have these conversations that we're about to have when we have to skirt this kind of language.
Well,
it's also really.
What? Go on, Ashley.
I was going to say it's really. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Say that again. You cut out a little bit. Say it again. Camera's on you, girl. What are you doing? All right. Carol?
I was going to say, I mean, it's a tricky situation because I actually am a member of a group called Gays Against Groomers.
Yes.
And
the Twitter account?
We have all different. We have a Twitter account, Instagram. We're a huge coalition now, huge. And
yeah, y'all are making waves. Like I saw you on Sav Says, and Blair White just released a video today that I haven't had a chance to watch with somebody from Gays Against Groomers. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. We've already started. It's already international, and we've already started creating tons of, statewide. Oh, I can't even think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about. There's going to be chapters. So
great.
I mean and there's a ton of us creators, conservative and it is Maddie, all transitioners, detransitioners, gays, lesbians. It's a big, and we're all very, very dedicated. I mean, for me, I've really determined that the reason I never had kids in my life was so that I could fight for other people's kids, because other people, they have to protect their own kids, but I don't have that problem. I can go out and fight for everybody's kids. And that is now my main purpose in life, period, is to protect children unborn and born.
Well, we all need that.
That is it. That's all I'm doing.
Do it again, Ashley.
In my life.
Do it again, Ashley. There you go.
Like it that's what it is, and I will fight fiercely for children however I can. Right now, we all know that the war is right here on the internet.
100%. It is. It is. Abel.
Yes.
You should add your voice to that.
To the Gays Against Groomers?
Yes. Why not?
I'm already following them on Twitter.
Follow them. That's nothing. Add it, dude. Come on.
What do you want me to do? I'm just I'm a detransitioner. I got my own priorities.
You have your own priorities, but you have a voice. Damn it.
I think detransitioners are probably one of the most important voices in this conversation right now, because they're the most, honestly, like the most tried. Like people try to snuff their voices out and act as if that they're not. What was it in What Is a Woman, where that doctor was like, it's an insignificant number. It's like, no, it's not. These people's lives are.
Yeah, no, we're less than 1%, obviously. But if you look on Twitter, YouTube, obviously it's going to look way more. I'm not sure if you spend enough time on social media, mostly Twitter, but the youngest person, to my knowledge, is regarding a detransitioner, is a young girl, 17. Well, now she's 18, but she started her transition when she was 13. She got puberty blockers, double mastectomy at 15, and at 17 she realized she made a mistake. Now, obviously, because Twitter is a hellscape, and they are in favor of transitioning, and everyone there, obviously, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are. They have been dragging this young lady through the mud so bad that she cannot even publicly speak of her story without everyone trying to nitpick everything she says.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. She always has a voice here.
Well, she can't legally speak, and I can't say further than that. But I will say, if you guys want to know what I mean, follow us on our OnlyFans account that we will be making within the next month, and I will reveal a bit more content.
All right, are we actually doing? Is this going to be a thing? Are we going to start a trend with this? Hold up. Like a little bit of background information with this. And God, I had mentioned this before.
I will only do the OnlyFans under one condition, and I have to get approval from your cousin, sister, wife, aunt. Now, uncle as well, per you.
You son of a bitch.
I want to ask her if we can have you in a cat maid outfit.
Whatever she says, I guarantee you, it's not going to happen.
She's in chat. We can ask her.
Even if she says yes, guess what? It's my body, my choice, motherfucker. Remember that?
Not in this situation.
No, but a little bit of backstory about this. We had mentioned.
Anyway.
Huh? Say what?
I said anyway.
You're right. Like
anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know what you were planning, but I want no part of it.
well,
I want to know. I don't want to know. It's scaring me.
no. See,
My
what
innocent mind. I'm so innocent.
We had talked about this before. Because of the conversation we had. It was in. How do you feel about abortion? Part 2. We had. There was a whole bunch of guys talking, and somehow we got derailed off because of Abel. Somehow that always works out that way. But somehow we got off onto talking about butt plugs and that being a thing because he had looked up something about like foxtails and things with butt plugs and
furry tales for you.
Yeah, apparently that happened, and we got off subject for like 40 minutes of just talking about.
Why don't we not do that here?
Oh, we're not going to do that here. None of that's going to be a thing.
Are you sure?
But we came up with the whole idea of like just like having these conversations because OnlyFans is not like it's not a thing to where you could just be like you could do some horrible ass shit and still be there, kind of thing. So we had come up with this idea because of 1776 had mentioned it, and it crossed my mind to just create an OnlyFans account where we just talk about the most horrible shit. We do the little after party kind of thing. We record it and put it on OnlyFans kind of situation. I don't know how. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how, but Quarter Black Garrett had mentioned that on Elijah Schaefer's weekend stream that they do that. They create that. So apparently somehow the idea got out there that we do this. And I think we're going to have to do it now. I'm like, could you like it was said on his stream, could you imagine being the only person banned off OnlyFans? Like, is that a thing? Can you do that?
Okay, but I will say we will have to wear cat-made outfits for OnlyFans. And I got permission from your...
No, you did not. You did not. She's in the fucking chat and she says that's a no. Absolutely not.
I'm offering her 25% royalties for you.
25%. Hold up. 25%. What are we talking about here? Because this is my idea. This is what we've done. I've built this. I'm the one doing this.
But whose ideas are these half of the times?
Do you want to be honest about that? Because I'm the one coming up with these stories. I'm the one doing this shit. You're just...
But who's the one who's thinking of the stupid ideas?
The stupid ideas? That'd probably you.
And they usually work out half the times.
I don't know about all that, but yeah. See, this is what happens. We get derailed off the shit because...
And I'm currently negotiating with your wife right now on the price.
She said she's going to get 100%. And now you jewed it down to 7. God damn it. I'm not doing it. I'm
haggling. I am haggling a price.
Your effing mom says, may I ask what made you transition? Can't remember his name. That's Abel Garcia.
Oh. Well, all my videos are here on YouTube, so if you want to get the full picture. But to
official
make it short,
Abel G.
I'm also on Twitter, but that's I've started to learn to troll a bit on that, so it's not really the best platform to get my full story. But if you want to find my full story, it is here on YouTube. Just look up Abel Garcia. Unless you want to watch the original one, which is under slightly offensive, just look up "Trans Surgery Ruined My Life." But to answer your question, I was a very shy kid. Quiet, timid, introverted. I overthought on everything. Wasn't the most masculine. Didn't have my father in my life growing up. So I didn't know what it meant to be a man. Didn't know, even though I am one. So I was just very confused, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah. And that made you switch genders?
Well, obviously, no. So what happened was, obviously, I assumed that I must have been, if I'm inadequate as a man, I must have been a woman. That was apparently my thinking at the time. I didn't realize what transgender was until I was a bit older. When I realized what it was, that's when it something made some sense at the time, and eventually I had went forward with a transition after I became a legal adult and dealt with some trauma caused by my father in Mexico.
And if you want that information, of course,
follow us at OnlyFans / Voice of the People.
We're gonna have to fucking do it now. I mean, you've already given. God damn it!
Where I will go in full explicit detail.
All right, fuck all the bullshit. Let's get to this. All right. Now, all right, Carol, you are, of course, you're a lesbian. You're the oldest among us. Let me ask you a question. Where do you think the community went wrong?
To be quite honest, I'm not sure you could blame the whole community because there's a lot of people, both gay and transgendered in the community that are just living life. They're just living, they're just, getting married, not getting married, having kids, not having kids, getting divorced, the normal stuff what people do, going to work, going home. And you can't really blame the gay men too much because gay men just do what gay men do. They get up, they go to bars, they mess around with each other. Some of them don't, some of them just are normal, But what I think really happened was that the media hijacked the gay community because they saw dollar signs.
Mm.
And that's how it started. Because let's be real, when the whole gay marriage thing started coming out, we were saying, well, it's going to it'll help the economy. Cake people will make money, wedding people will make money, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then, we started having gay pride parades and all that stuff, which had been had for years, but then all of a sudden merchandise. And I think at some point, the media or the business or the powers that be, the they out there who had been trying to get rid of us said, well, we haven't gotten rid of them yet, but we can make money off of them in the process. And then we became, I don't know if you saw, but I did a video back, well, maybe not since they killed that account, but I did a video back on Pride Month and I said, I think we should be grateful for, the media who are using us as their pawns. And, all the people on the extreme right and the extreme left who are using us as a reason to spew hate with each other. And I think at some point we just became, that thing to be used. And then it moved, they started moving into all this other stuff. And pretty soon, like I've said, there's no more gay community. Now there's the LGBTQIA. I'm not sure. It just keeps going. I don't know what else is attached to it. But as far as I'm concerned, there's the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community, which is about people who are sexually attracted to same sex. Then there's the transgender community, which is about feeling like you're not the right person in the right body, which is totally different than your sexual orientation.
Right. And
then, they happen, because it has to do with sex, they attach them to our community but I don't know why, when they could totally have their own singular fight, but whatever. And then there's everybody else that has now, like I said, swimming in the ocean and calling themselves a mermaid. Well, as far as I'm concerned, just because you swam in the ocean doesn't mean you're a fucking mermaid. Just because you couldn't make it with your boyfriends doesn't make you a lesbian. It makes you a bitch.
Ashley's laughing, but yeah, I kind of agree.
I'm sorry to all the beautiful straight women out there who want to call themselves a lesbian, because it's going to be so much easier to deal with a woman. And that's fine. If there's a woman out there who wants to date you, more power to her. I've dated straight women. It never works. They always go back to men. But it doesn't make you a lesbian. It's a whole different thing. There's like, you have to go. It's like saying that there's this whole thing, in my opinion, that's kicked out of the trans movement that nobody wants to talk about. Because everybody's talking about biology and gender. But what you're not talking about is all the stuff that a woman has to go through or a man has to go through growing up. Like Abel was just talking about. He didn't have what he needed or the guidance to understand how to be a man, and therefore still had to deal with the pressures of being a man, which I am not a man, so I don't know, but I would assume they have to do with sports, masculinity, and a whole lot of other things. As women, as Ashley might know or not, you know, I'm not sure how it is being the younger generation, but we have to deal with being ogled, having grown men look at us like we're a piece of meat. We have to be pretty. We have to be tactful. We have to be graceful. We have to be able to do all the things that men can do, but not shove it in men's faces, that we can actually do it. There's, you know, we have to be able to hold the door open for ourselves, but let the man hold the door open for us. There's so much that goes into being raised as a woman. And so I've always said, if you are a trans man or a trans woman, I'm for it. If you walk up to me and say, I'm a trans man or a trans woman, I'm like, okay, I get it. You were raised as such, and whatever went on in you felt the need to transition. And now I've got friends like, oh yeah, this is why. And oh, cool. But if you're going to transition, then come to me and say, I'm a woman. You're probably going to get something of an argument from me, because biology or not, we were raised differently. And there are the few exceptions, of course, of, you know, whatever Munchausen syndrome and parents who raise their kids, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, me and Abel were raised differently. Not to mention the fact that he's Mexican and I'm not. But I mean, just other than that, we were raised totally differently. So that's why I don't necessarily think it's wholly the community. I think a lot of people my generation and even your generation have jumped on the LGBTQ bandwagon, but those are the kind of people who would jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
But there's a lot of us who are like, no. I fought so that I could get married and get divorced like the rest of the people. Neither of which ended up ever happening in my life anyway. But that's what I was fighting for. Not for all this crap, whatever's going on. What? I don't even keep up with it anymore because I don't give a shit.
There are a lot of places here where you could actually do that now. I mean, if you want to marry a woman, you can. But she opened up the door, and Ashley, as a woman, she was talking about, you know, you being ogled and looked at as a piece of meat. Do you actually feel that?
So that's definitely happened to me, for sure. I've actually pretty much always worked in male-dominated industries. I worked with horses for a while, and although everybody in my barn was female, when we would go to horse shows and stuff like that, all the other barn, like, it's just all male workers. And then I worked in security, and if you can imagine, I was one of the very few women in that field. And there, I probably got the most inappropriate comments while I was working. I actually had, like, real sexism. Like I actually experienced that, and that's the only place I've ever really encountered that. But when I was younger, I looked a lot older than what I did at a very young age. When I was 13, I looked, like I was 17 or 18. Experienced a lot of really inappropriate, like just comments, looks from older men, and was put in a lot of really bad situations also. So yeah, I definitely can relate to that to a certain degree. I think in society right now, we're experiencing, like, people are calling, like the Me Too movement. It started with really good intentions. It started by exposing really horrible things that women had experienced at the hands of really horrible men. And then it just kept getting pushed farther and farther and farther. And then you got to people trying to say that accidentally getting, like, somebody accidentally brushing against you is assault. And it's like, no, like, you have to draw a line, because if you start making everything, here's the, essay, the worst of the worst. If you start trying to bring everything up to that, you're completely, what's the word that I'm looking for? You're
minimizing the actual,
you're minimizing the actual,
cases.
Yeah, and I've experienced SA before twice in my life, and it's really, really traumatizing, and it's given me a lot of PTSD. And for anyone to try to act as if, like, I've also been groped in my life, and that was nowhere near as bad as what I experienced when I was SA'd. So to try to act as if those two things are comparable is just completely ludicrous, in my opinion, and it's insulting to actual victims. So and I think that's just what we're seeing in all kinds of different ways, and especially it's like a lot of women are trying to fight sexism with sexism towards men, and I don't agree with it. I think there are really good men in this world who are trying to be really good men, and they're trying to be strong men, and they keep getting pushed down by these like radical feminists.
It's mostly radical feminists. I think it's more women that are straight up misandry. Damn, I can't pronounce the word.
Misandry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I've communicated with a lot of radical feminists, and yeah, some of them hate my guts as a man, but the majority of them understand what I went through.
Wait, you say you hate your guts as a man? What?
No, some of the radical feminists.
Oh, they hate your guts as a man. Yeah, okay. All right, so
what did you think I said?
I thought you said you hated your guts.
Well, I do hate myself because of what I did, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, that's your own internal struggles that you're gonna have, man. I mean, that's part of being human.
Well, I'm always fighting demons on the weekends.
But I'm gonna tell you something right now. I got the camera on me. I'm gonna tell you something right now, dude. Never, absolutely 100% never drag yourself through the fucking mud for the shit you've done. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. The things you have done in your life made you who you are. Now, the whole problem with that is, do you keep yourself down because of it? Where you just say, yeah, I made a mistake. Let's learn from this. Fuck it. I am who I am now. And I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be that person.
Give me a few more months of beating myself down, then I'll probably...
you ain't got a few more months. You need to stand the fuck up right now. I'm going to say this with all fucking love. I'm going to say it. You ain't got a few more months. You need to stand up right now and say, I'm done. Because the more you beat yourself down, it gets easier, dude. And that comes from somebody who's been suicidal.
Well,
literally half of my life. That comes from somebody who's been suicidal half of my life. You keep beating yourself down, you will always stay down because it is easier. Pick yourself up right now and say, I'm done with it. And it gets easier. Like, me and Ashley have had this. Hold on. Me and Ashley have had this conversation. Once you have that whole Self-responsibility. Once you pick yourself up and you take responsibility for your own actions, your own life, it is freeing as fuck. It really is. Because you take to that point of, okay, I'm the reason. I'm the problem. I am who I am because of me. Once you get to that point, it's free because you realize you are your own enemy and you fight that. Your biggest battle is always going to be yourself. When you take self-responsibility, you can blame everybody else all day long, but the whole thing relies on you. Your own actions, your own problems are created by you. 99% of the problems in life are created by you. Once you take responsibility for that and you learn that and you're just like, holy shit, I did this. It's freeing as hell because you learn from your own mistakes. Pick yourself up, dude. I'm just going to be straight up honest. Tough love.
All right. Well, if I may say something,
Go ahead.
personally, and this has always been where I've stood on everything. I don't think I'm gonna be able to give myself any credit until I can at least see some results that I've been able to help some people. And these last few months, almost a year now, since I started my own YouTube channel, but technically longer because I had done my interview with Elijah. I have seen some results of it. I have seen people tell me that I'm actually the reason why they're doing much better now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Let me go into the chats a little bit here. We will continue this in a second. Your effing mom on Twitch said a while back, the media made it a fad. We were talking about the trend here. The media made it a fad. The talk shows, the bad news reports, everything. Yeah, you are correct. It is a fad. It really is. Like the rise in cases of transgender, things like that. It has been pushed by the media. It has been pushed by our social media. The fact that dissenting voices like Abel have been suppressed is a problem. He went through everything that he did, and now he can't speak up for the people that may feel a certain way. The ones that, what is it, 80%? 80, usually it's a very high percentage. I don't know exactly the percentage, but it is a very high percentage of the people that grow out of the gender dysphoria.
I think it's over 90% if you don't affirm a child.
Mm-hmm. And even then, I mean, once you go through that gender affirming, the things that Abel has gone through, the things that he has done to himself just because he thought some type of way and nobody pushed back. Now, if I'd have been there, I'd have been like, dude, are you serious? Like, okay, just because you played with Barbies? Fuck, I played with Barbies. My sister used to dress me up in dresses and put makeup on me. Do I want to chop off my dick and balls because of it? Hell no. It's a thing. People do it. Whatever. But if I'd have known you back then, dude, you'd have hated me, like you said. But I'd have pushed back on it. I'd have really pushed back on it because it is something that people do grow out of. Honestly, it is. And to attach themselves, like, this is my whole thought. And I want to get, Right Side's whole point on this. Like, I had done a little video with you, kind of like overlaying my thoughts on your video with this. And my whole thinking, like, I think the whole community as went wrong when, all right, lesbian and gay people started fighting for their rights because nobody saw them as human. Okay, it was you were to put it lightly, you were a mutant kind of situation. Okay, lesbian and gay people started fighting for their rights because you guys do exist. It is a thing, and even the bisexual people, it is a thing. I understand that. I know these people. I get you. I really do. But when you guys started fighting for your rights, you won those rights. And you got the right to be married. You got the right to exist. You got everything. You won that fight. But you never laid down your arms. Everything.
Some people did, some didn't.
Right. But everything included past that point came to a whole fact of, well, I fought for this. My entire life just seems so fucked up and just, it all seems so weird because I've been fighting this entire time. Now, everything that is not normal, I want to fight for. So now we've included trans people who's, like I said before, lesbian, gay, bisexual, that is a sexual orientation. That is who you feel. You were attracted to same sex, both sex kind of thing. But transsexual is more of an ideology. It's a thought process. It's a mental
illness.
issue. Yes.
Mental illness, mental disorder. Well, I don't think it's considered that anymore because they've changed it so much through the DSM.
And that's the thing.
Well, they have changed it, so it went from just gender dysphoria to now it's called gender identity disorder. But
I mean, it's still a mental illness at that. But
yeah, it is.
It comes down to a whole point of, you fought for so long. Now everything that is not the normal is a flag that you want to take up. So now we got the trans community. We got queer. Queer is, I don't identify with whatever you do. Now,
before you continue, I actually have a question.
Go ahead.
Wasn't that a derogative term, though?
Queer is a derogatory term, and here's where I see where you're coming from. And I've actually had a lot of people also comment about the whole slippery slope thing. Which is basically what you're talking about. The slippery slope fallacy. We told you that if you fought for your rights, then pretty soon it would be this, and it would be children, and then animals, and you know what I mean? That was something that came from the extreme right, the slippery slope. Well, what people are missing in the whole thing is that at some point there was a split. So a lot of us from the regular gay community kind of went about living our lives, and this whole new LGBT whatever community popped up. It's not the same. So when you're talking about, well, you fought for this and then you picked up this and no, I never picked up any of those things. And most of us didn't. A whole new community picked up that ball and started running down the field with it. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still hanging out in the backfield. So what people are missing is we're two communities. We're not just one big community. We're the old LGBT community, which is the gay people, lesbian, bisexual, and the original people who really suffered hard and, had to change their sex because they couldn't live any other way, which is like 0.00. I actually studied to get a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Just so you know, I'm not completely talking out of the side of my neck. I had 3 internships left, and I quit due to what the American Council Association started supporting. So I literally just had my internships, and I would be a counselor right now. So I did a lot of studying on this stuff. And the reality is it's like 0.003% of the population or something actually has gender identity disorder. Everybody else is, I'm sorry, this is going to piss people off. Here's where it's going to piss people off. Everybody else is just looking for attention.
Right.
They're just trying to be a
you're
part of the
definitely
crowd.
right.
And the same thing with gay people. All these people cannot be gay. It's only 6% of the population. So we just fought to be that 6%, that 0.003% that wanted to be alone and live our lives. But then somewhere along the way, the media got involved. The narrative, it became a part of the narrative for whatever nefarious reasons that they out there has. And a whole new generation picked up the football and started running with it, and the rest of us are going, what the hell? But now, like you were saying, you're like, well, you guys did this. We're being grouped together, but we're not the same community. It's there. Right. It is now. That's like saying, well, there's Christians and there's Jehovah's Witness and there's this, but you're all the same.
There is a
It's not all the same. It's extremely different. So we're extremely different. There are centrists, there are gays and lesbians out there who just want to live their life.
Right.
We don't all go to Pride. I've been to like 2 Pride events, and I hate Pride. I hate it. I don't ever want to go to. I hated it when I was there. I never wanted to be there. I did not want to be in some floppy parade. I thought it was stupid.
If I may ask, what was going on during the Pride events that you did like?
Well, I'll tell you right now, it was people walking around scantily clad. It was all of the hardcore lesbians walking around like they had a big fat chip on their shoulder. It wasn't really about, just getting together. It was about shoving it in people's faces. And right. I never wanted to shove anything in people's faces. All I wanted to do was that if I got a girlfriend someday, I wanted to be able to get married just like everyone else. That's all I wanted. I don't make out with my girlfriend in public. I don't do any of that stuff, because there's a thing out there that we've all forgot. It's called grace. It's called tact. It's called character. And people don't have it anymore. And it's like, I won't even hang out with gay people that act like that, because you don't have any character. So
and that doesn't even have anything to do with being gay, because I don't want to be around a straight couple who's just making out and all over each other and basically humping in the middle of public. No. Go ahead. Hold hands. Little pat, be normal, like normal human beings interacting in public. Like, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Like, just be respectful of other people,
Yeah, you don't. Why do you need so much attention? Like, I literally, when I got on TikTok, my second video went viral, and I literally was on there like as a joke. Like, I'll make a little TikTok, watch this. Made a video of some boats in the harbor, and it got like 2 million views.
Oh.
To this day, I don't make any money. No. I don't make any money.
No, because you're not blue checked.
I'm not even blue. Yeah, I can't even be a blue check mark because I'm crazy conspiracy theory lady.
Welcome to the fun.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I have 2 fucking jobs. Whatever.
Right.
But I just don't need the attention. I'll take it and run with it towards helping children. And that's why I like somebody like Abel. Oh my God, the amount. See, what I like about people who've detransitioned is that young people have a tendency, and that's not true for all of them, to not think things from beginning all the way until the end. They're thinking about right now. Right now, I could put on a backpack and jump out of a perfectly good plane, and the chute will open, of course. That's how they're thinking. But they meet somebody like Abel, or like my friend Matt, and they go, okay.
The chute didn't
transitioned open. And Matt transitioned and it worked out. Abel transitioned and it didn't. Now you can see the future and make a more informed decision and learn how to do that. We're not teaching our kids that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're not teaching our kids how to make informed decisions.
No, all we're doing is how you feel is who you are.
Yeah, and you know what? Feelings are not facts. They come and go like the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's so dangerous too, because imagine just from a mental health aspect, like people are pretending now to have certain mental illnesses to get attention on TikTok, and I went through so much when I was a teenager, so much emotional turmoil and pain, and like I can't imagine having someone sitting there being like, this is great, you should just live in this, just because like I was already doing that to myself. I was already like living in it myself, and it took a lot for me to like snap out of it and be like, this is so unhealthy, this is so bad for me, and I cannot keep doing this to myself and living this way. Right. Like just from that aspect, it's like you can't had I gone to a therapist, and the trend now is therapists can't even talk to you on a real level because they have to affirm everything about what you're saying in regards to gender and gender dysphoria, and it's like no other mental condition is ever treated that way. We don't say that to someone suffering from depression or PTSD or severe anxiety, which is
or anorexia, bulimia.
Those are really big ones, and those are also social contagions that young girls face. And right now, there is an unprecedented rate of young girls questioning their gender and thinking that they need to transition, when typically, from the evidence that I've seen and from the experts that I've listened to, it has typically been males who are most affected by gender dysphoria. And now all of a sudden there's just this boom of females, young women who feel like this is what they need to do. And when I was growing up, it was the anorexia and the bulimia. Those were the social contagions everyone was experiencing, and they were super detrimental.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. I mean, kids experiment. They try on different hats. I mean, Today I'm wearing this hat, baby. But I'm not gonna super glue that shit to my head.
Nope.
You could, and you could probably win some money from whoever you bought that from.
Hold on. Wasn't it Abel that moved to Texas and immediately put on a farmer hat like it was some kind of stiletto situation? Yeah, you see that finger? That's what happens. But no, I want to bring up a point.
Okay, first of all, I had to legally do that as a new Texas resident, okay?
No, but I want to...
coming from California.
I'm going to bring up a point. And if we're going to start doing this, we need to start kind of like every single one of us right here, right now. And most of the people we've actually had on this channel are more moderate kind of situation, which where most of America fucking lies. We are moderate. Okay, we understand left and right. We understand that. We understand there needs to be a balance. Here's the thing. I'm going to call you motherfuckers out. All right? The rights are like slippery slope, slippery slope. Okay, you win an argument with a slippery slope kind of situation, which was, what Right Side was talking about. So you run with that. Now, everything's a slippery slope. Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, as far as what we've gone, now this is kind of a little bit sidetracked, but it still kind of plays into it. As far as what we've gone, what we've seen, especially with this presidency, with what's happened with Trump and everything like that, we've been pulled so far left that pendulum is starting to swing right. Okay? If we do not pull that back, are we not eating, like I've said it a fucking 100 times, and I will still continue to scream that. If we do not stop that swing, are we not eating the same shit sandwich from a different side? I mean, context included. I'm going to call them out. I don't give a shit. Nick Fuentes, do y'all really want that to be the right? The dude literally said that he doesn't believe that women should have rights. Men should be the only ones voting. Okay, so you want to take my wife's vote, who would normally vote in your favor. You want to take my wife's vote away to give it to somebody who owns it. Hold on.
Who have a...
Say what?
I was just going to say there are some women who have agreed with Nick in regards to the voting. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. Sydney has said that.
No, Sydney did not. She was opposed to that fucking shit. Number one.
No.
But, that one guy was going off about
Sav, it. Then I might be confusing her for Sav or someone else.
I'm sure Sav would not be okay with that, but my whole point is to that. Okay,
some women on the right.
You want to take away my wife's vote, who would normally vote in favor of you in most cases, to give it to somebody who male landowner. Okay, you want to take my vote away to give it to Bill Gates, who owns a lot of fucking farmland here in America, who's a known eugenicist? You want to take my vote or my wife's vote for shit here in America to give it to him? Are you fucking kidding me? He even said it here on You Are Here when his episode. Okay, he would rather us be like Afghanistan, where women are wearing burqas, they can't speak unless spoken to.
Oh, I remember this guy. I hated him so much. I got so mad. At that dude. No, so
I did too. Are you fucking serious? This is what you want for the right side.
So my husband and I have talked about this.
Someone in chat that's on the. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, my husband and I have talked about this, about the pendulum, right? And
hold on. Your effing mom says, please tell Carol I said bye. But go ahead.
And you are right. It's because the pendulum has swung so far, and it's going to swing back really hard. And honestly, like, people want to call me far right all day, and I'm not. I'm a moderate. I'm moderately conservative, and I vote independently. I'm not going to vote. You're more moderate than I am. Yeah, and I'm not going to vote just because somebody says a bunch of fucking little pretty lies and calls themselves a Republican. That's why I'm never going to ever call myself a Republican, because that's no, thank you. I might vote that way if their policies align, or what I want to see put in place. But at the same time, to your point, there are extremists on both sides, and nobody should be holding up those extremists. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to us as a country to meet in the middle. And that's the problem with the left right now, is they refuse to meet in the middle. They refuse to even see how far left they are, because so many people are far left, like further left, and they're sitting here saying, well, we're not left enough. We're not progressive enough. We're not doing enough. And meanwhile, everybody, just people like who comment on my videos. There's so many people who say, you don't even know what a leftist is. You don't even know what the far left is, because nobody in the government is far left and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, but you are. And you're the ones who they're pandering to. You're the smallest minority of people in that regards, like politically speaking, have gotten the loudest voices right now. And Right Side brought up earlier, like, why don't like the newfound LGBT type of people build their own coalition? Well, they're running with yours. They're running with the coalition that you guys built, and they're running off your backs. You paved the way. You are the ones who created a more accepting country, a more accepting social environment for gay people, for trans people, and they ruined it. In a matter of years, the acceptance for the LGBT community has plummeted, and it's because of this extremist type of viewpoint, and it's too much, and it's too far, and it's endangering kids, and we're and that's the problem. Is people want to act as if there's no reason for this lack of acceptance. There's a good reason for it, and it's because of how extreme it's gotten and how much it's being pushed in people's faces. And the same thing that you brought up with Pride. If Pride was just a bunch of gay people walking down the street holding hands, nobody would give a shit. Point blank, period.
You are 100% correct, and because of the conversations we've had, I'm going to push on to you. You need to start your own shit. We need to get you a good mic. We need to normalize your shit. You need to go on with this, because 100% woman, I'm behind you. I really am. But Abel, let me ask you a question, dude.
I have an answer, probably.
What do you think about all this? Like, this pendulum swinging so far to the left, it's starting to swing back to the right. Where do you draw the line, man?
Well, honestly, if this pendulum on the left keeps going as insane as it is, so teaching children as young as 2 that they can be the opposite sex. And yes, Ashley, your reaction.
I have two 2-year-olds right now, and they both say, I'm a girl and I'm a boy. They do sign language, so they know that for sure. It's just that's very scary. Yeah.
Yeah, it was brought up to my attention by Libs of TikTok. Yeah, they shared someone else saying, or it might have been like some organization that said even 2-year-olds can be the opposite sex. Obviously,
no. Hold up. I'm going to give some pushback on that. You're talking about people who literally. All right. Now, me and Ashley, we've gone through this shit as far as like the abortion topic. Ashley has dived into this incredible. Like, she's gone so fucking far, and I appreciate the hell out of that because she's even given me just like, nah, I kind of call some bullshit, and she's right. Now,
I would have loved to be a part of that conversation, darn it.
Oh, you need to watch her shit then.
I got good abortion points to add, and nobody ever listens to my points on abortion because they're busy focusing on me being a lesbian.
Yeah. Well, have it. Make that your focus. But like I was saying, though, there were times where I just watch her video and I'm just like, nah, that's bullshit. That's got to be bullshit. And I look it up and I'm just like, God damn, she's right. Fuck. Well, all right. And she's wonderful about this. Like, okay, as far as that goes, like the gestation of life, they say like, it's a parasite kind of situation until the baby is born. They're not alive kind of number one, that's fucking bullshit because heartbeat starts roughly around 5-6 weeks. There's a little flutter. There is a start of heartbeat. The neurons start firing in 9 weeks kind of situation. Children, like, it has come to a point to where they say, okay, well, until you are self-aware. Self-awareness in children begin at 4 to 5 fucking years after they are born. That's them looking into the mirror and saying, I am a human being. I am me. I'm looking at my reflection. This is me. Until then, it's this could be a different person. It's kind of like a dog playing in the mirror kind of situation. Mm-hmm. So where did we draw that? I don't mean to drag it into that kind of situation, but it is that whole point of the left has gone so fucking insane to where you're talking about life begins at the point of them being, okay, I am me. I can look in a mirror and say, I exist. This is me. I'm looking at me. This is holy shit. I'm a person. Which happens at 4 or 5 years.
In development, it does happen a little bit sooner than that, but it's quite a ways after a baby is born that they like the mirror concept of understanding who you are by looking in a mirror. That is actually a really complex thought. Like you have to look in the mirror, see another person, realize that other person is moving, realize that they're moving at the same rate as you, realize at some point that there's a lot of processes that have to happen just in being able to recognize yourself in the mirror.
Yes.
And I mean, you bring up the slippery slope thing, and yeah, the slippery slope fallacy. But the problem is the left keeps proving it right. Like they keep proving that slippery slope fallacy ends up being correct every single time. And instead of fighting to break that, they're just playing into it even more. And they're making the extreme people on the right feel emboldened by that and be willing to say much more outlandish, crazy shit,
Which pulls that pendulum more.
Yeah, I get it a lot. That's the one thing I do get on my videos. I don't get a lot of hatred from the left, but I get people all the time. Well, we told you so. We told you. Well, I'm glad you feel vindicated, but it's far more complex than what your slippery. It's far more complex.
Yes.
And the whole pendulum thing is far more complex. They can't. Yes, there are extremists like these people, like Andrew Tate right now is big all over the place. On TikTok. You guys know who that is? Okay.
No.
Okay. You'll see him eventually. But he's always talking about this, that, and the other thing. And he clearly, in my opinion, doesn't like women. There's a lot of men out there who want it to go back to where women stay home and do what they're told. There are always going to be men out there that are like that. There have been men out there. And there are women out there, because I've literally known women who think the same way, that you should just be home and serve your husband, and that's what the Bible says, and that's what you should do. Now, if you want to stay home and serve your husband because you believe in whatever religion you believe in, and that's what it tells you to do, well, have at it. But I don't think that the majority, it would be financially and economically not valuable to, as a government, even though it might swing that far in the public opinion, it would not make sense for any government to go back to that in this country, because it would cause so much upheaval. So eventually it'll just kind of swing and do this, which is what it should do. That's why we have different people with different opinions. But,
Right.
you know, we still have the problem of children being abused. And that's what's really going on. We have
Yes.
people who are predatory towards children. We have parents who are just letting their children do whatever they want, which is also a part of abuse. We have 850,000 children a year disappearing from the United States alone. Just from the United States, 850,000 children a year. Poof. Into the atmosphere. We have child sex trafficking. We have all kinds of crap going on. And so we have all these covers of LGBT and Roe v. Wade and
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein is a part of the child trafficking industry.
Still,
and so are so many other politicians, Hollywood stars, and
Yeah.
I don't care what side you're on. If you're a part of that, I want you gone. I want you out. I want you erased from society. Like, I don't want to support, you know, like I used to like Matt Gaetz, and now with all the shit, and I didn't even know about that when it came out, and I like recently learned about it in the past few months, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not cool with you. Like, you're real close with the. Yeah,
he's trash.
Like, it's like I don't really care if it's not even proven correct or like, you know, in a court of law, because you can't be that close to somebody who's trafficking kids and not fucking know about it. I'm sorry, but you can't.
I mean, fucking Hunter Biden. You're talking about the laptop situation, okay? That son of a bitch literally has videos of him with a child naked doing explicit adult activities with a minor. Yeah, it may have been in a different country. I don't give a goddamn. I really don't. Fuck, son, you are literally having relations with a minor, and you are the president's fucking son. This son of a bitch is sniffing fucking kids on every video. Are you kidding me?
You know how many states that it's legal for an adult to marry a minor? And so many men will get permission from a minor's parents and marry her in order to have relations with her.
I want to say 25% of the U.S. Between 25 and 50.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I actually made a video about that. On my slippery slope video, I said, let's talk about a slippery slope. Because in this country, for a long, long time, men in their 40s and 50s were marrying 12 and 13-year-olds and acting like it's cool, it's normal, it's a regular good old thing, and producing 10 children with them, producing children with the child that they married, and that's how it was normal in this country. And it is still normal in other countries. Not only that, but number two, the people who pay for child prostitutes are almost always straight married people. And number three, we know that the majority, not all, as we've seen, there's been a gay couple recently, but the majority of people who are purchasing the children who are trafficked are also straight married people. So where's your slippery slope? You're going to detract it onto the gay community, which is also doing stupid crap, and try to get the thing off of the fact that there are lots of straight married men out there on TikTok right now, on Instagram, who are claiming to be patriots, who are ogling children themselves, but they can detract it because LGBT.
Right.
Or because of whatever else. And all of these people are involved because, oh, well, you know, women should be at home and go back to being the property and owned by blah, blah, blah. It's going to be like this because right now the United States is breaking down.
100%. We are. Like, and I will say this. I've said this since I was a fucking kid. You know, I was all into... When I was a child, I was all into mythological shit. You know, the Greek culture, the Roman culture, how they intertwined with each other. We are the Roman Empire of our time. Like, the reason why Rome fell as a huge superpower in their time is the reason why we are falling now. Literally, everybody got complacent. Everybody started to try to switch genders. Everybody went to a whole point to, why do I need to be this? If we are the end all be all, why should I do this? Why should I stand? Why should I be a strong male? Why should I be a strong female? Why should I stand up for my family when the government's going to take care of it? That was the fall of the Roman Empire, and we are the Roman Empire of our time.
Well, and I'll say this, the dissolution of family values, and I don't mean that as in like straight nuclear family. I mean just a family of whoever that consists of. And that's honestly the main that is the main reason why we're having so many societal issues. Because if you go and you look and you start looking at, like, I mean, statistically, kids do better with a two-parent household, point blank, period. And if you don't have a solid family unit, if you don't have people at least in your life you can look up to and to guide you and to help you along and be those good positive role models, then I mean you're gonna have a lot harder time doing that yourself. I'll tell you that from fucking experience, you know. And I mean that's always been my goal in life is to get married. Not for any, I'm not religious, you know, and not for any type of religious reasons. My goal is to get married, to be committed to another human being, and live my life with that human being and create a solid family unit wherein we can support our kids and we can support ourselves. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I also work. It's like, you know, I think it's really important for women to have that choice in society, to be able to stay home with their kids and raise their kids, and also work, or just stay home, or go and if you want to have a career, go and do that. But we're also experiencing this thing where we're telling young girls that don't worry about having a family. Don't worry about having a family at all. You know, you want to go out there and you want to be a go-getter and you want to get your career locked down. Well, then you have all these women who are turning 30 who are sitting here going, oh shit, like I don't have any kids and I really want kids now. Like I've been told to not have children my whole life. And now I'm realizing that was a mistake, and I really want my kids. I really want to have kids and experience this really great part of life. And I just think we're everything is going to the extreme, you know, and it's being very clearly is detrimental to so many people, because instead of actually doing what they want, there's all this societal pressure almost to conform in a different way.
Meanwhile, we got men who are out there literally like they want kids, they want a family very, very early on, and you get to a point where the women are just like, well, I want a career, I want to do this, I want to do that, and this is the reason why we have a birth decline here in the United States. This is why
then our birth rate in turn like 1 point something, which is far under the replacement.
Yes, it is under the replacement, and this is why, because women have been pushing, you know, the feminism movement and everything like that. It's I get you, I understand. You want to do what you want to do, right? I'm behind you 100%, but don't usurp that whole thought of why we are created. Men, women, we are different. I don't give a shit. Your whole trans community. Oh my. We're going to get into that, probably. We're definitely going to dive into this shit. But listen to me. All right. Men and women were created differently. There is a reason to that. Biologically, we are different. I don't give a shit. You want to be a man? You want to be a woman? Fine. At least acknowledge there is a difference. The whole Leah Thomas situation. You know, why is men dominating women's fucking sports? Like, is that a thing? You created the patriarchy you fought against. All because of inclusion.
Women are literally being told to work harder in sports to beat biological men who they have no chance of ever beating. By feminists. Like, feminists are literally looking at women and going, no, because that trans woman deserves to be here more than you, so you just have to work harder. It's like,
you want to know what's funny, though? You want to know what I've seen on social media since the Leah Thomas happened? So much social media accounts were saying that Thomas and other trans women worked hard for what they had, for the positions that they are in. But women have all these natural advantages that obviously Thomas doesn't have, which is why Thomas should have been in the sports.
Do women have a bigger arm span? Do we have bigger lungs? Do we have a bigger heart? Do we have more bone density? Do we, like, there's so many...
Hold up. Don't get me wrong. People like Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey would bend me over backwards and make me lick my own asshole. Okay? But fuck! 90% of you, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but 90% of you, if we were to have a fight, son of a bitch, I'd own. Okay?
I'm putting $100 on Carol kicking your ass.
I'm pretty sure she would. I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't even seen the woman, but I'm pretty sure she would.
I lift 80-pound bags for a living, and my other job is shoveling horse shit. So yeah, more than likely, I would probably be able to kick your ass.
She got some guns on her. I've been there.
I have.
I'm winning $100.
You can see him in my videos sometimes. I have really big muscles. It's kind of scary.
Started throwing around those hay bales and those grain bags, man, and shoveling pisses. You think it's not? No, that's hard.
No. Being a farmer is a whole different situation. All right, like that is work. I guarantee you. That is work. I guarantee you. 90% of America would say, "Go fuck yourself." So I tip my motherfucking hat that I don't have to y'all sons of bitches. But yeah,
I think that the whole Leah Thomas thing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm for the people, the small percentage, the very, very small, the 0.003% of people who suffer from gender identity disorder. I understand, and whatever, but I really think that if you are a man and you can't make it as a man, and then you come over, I mean, he was like swimmer number 896 or something like that.
In the 400s.
And
I mean, he wouldn't make it in the men's trial.
No. And now you come over to the woman and you somehow think that you've won something. You've won nothing, sir. And I'm going to call you sir because I don't believe you're a real transgendered person. I believe you're a man who was desperate to make your parents happy, and the only way you could do it was to grow your hair out long. Hasn't even transitioned.
Nope.
No, so he's actually medically through hormones. Because here's the thing: apparently, whoever is in charge of the swimming organization, NCAA, or I'm probably confusing that for something else. I'm sorry, but whoever's in charge of that, NCAA. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The rules for transgender people before Thomas participated was 3 years. Thomas was 2.5 years into a medical transition through hormones, yet they still allowed him to participate. Not sure if y'all knew that.
Well, see, here's the thing with that. Okay, as far as that goes off testosterone kind of levels. With men today, testosterone levels in men as a whole, and even I suffer from this, testosterone levels in men as a whole are equal or a little bit higher than testosterone levels in women. So
yeah, testosterone levels in men have like dropped significantly over time.
Right, right.
Yeah, the men now have the testosterone levels of men 50, 60 years ago, but at their current age now.
Right. So you got people
Nevertheless, it's a different body. It's a different body, different muscular structure, different bone structure, different bone destiny.
Right.
I don't care. Like I said, I'll say it a million times. Just because you swim in the ocean does not make you a fucking mermaid.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, you got, we brought it up before. I'm going to do it again. You got people like the Jeffrey Marsh, you know, on TikTok.
Don't get me started on that guy.
We're gonna get started on this. You got a guy who literally just puts makeup on. Like I'm going to. There is nothing transgender about
children. You. Parents, please leave and head. What the hell?
Yeah.
Hi. This is what I see every time I see Jeffrey March. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm coming for your children.
This motherfucker puts on makeup.
As soon as I started talking, my computer for Discord shut down on its own for a quick second.
Oh, we're good. We still saw you, but this motherfucker puts on...
No. Look, I was still on. It's just that the screen minimized on its own.
Oh, well. You're shit.
Yeah.
This motherfucker puts on makeup. Doesn't even shave his fucking beard. He's got 5 o'clock shadow everywhere. Puts on makeup, talks in a higher octave, and thinks he's a fucking woman. Meanwhile, this son of a bitch is propped up on fucking TikTok.
No, he's not a woman. He's not a woman.
No, he's not.
He's a chomo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he is. I'm just going to call his face right now. He is a chomo. What's a chomo?
I think I have an idea now.
Child mode.
Yep. It's a jail term for it.
There you go. Okay. Chomo.
What that is.
We're skirting the YouTube censorship right now. Chomo. Can we skirt?
Look, here.
I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you what you are. A freaking chomo.
Right. 100%. This son of a bitch actually targets children.
Here's the thing. How do you not get vibes off of a man who speaks like this towards the children, saying, "Parents, please hand us over to your children and leave the room."
You got to bring it up a higher.
Well,
we're talking about something like this, sir. You got to bring it up a little bit.
I quit.
He's done.
I'm trying to work over here, and you're not letting me.
Go ahead, do it. Pick it up an octave. We're doing it right now.
Well, I'm trying, obviously, but for the parents here, please don't. Please hand this over to your child. And for the children, if your parents don't love you, I'm your new parent. I'm gonna love you.
And that's what the fuck you're facing.
That's the scariest part of this, is that any parent who does push back against their kids and say, hey, no, like you're a boy or you're a girl, and the weirdest part about this whole kids transitioning thing is, without even like knowing it, apparently they are pushing gender norms and saying, okay, like it used to be little boys can play with girls' toys and little girls can play with boys' toys, and it doesn't mean anything, and that's okay. And I fully support that. Like, I have boy-girl twins. Right. My kids have access to the exact same toys. I got baby dolls for both of them. Like, I got a boy-girl twin set. We've got tons of trucks and Barbie dolls and all kinds of stuff. You know what my girl goes to? She goes to mostly the baby dolls and the Barbies. And sometimes she likes to play with the trucks. But you know what my son loves? Freaking cars and trucks. And he's obsessed with all of that. And sometimes he'll play with the baby dolls. But for the most part, they go towards, what they want to play with, and it does fit gender norms. But all of a sudden, you've got all these people saying, well, if a boy expresses any type of interest in girls' things, he must be a girl. Meanwhile, this little boy could be growing up in a house full of women, and he just sees his mom put on makeup, so he wants to put on makeup. My little boy sees my makeup brushes, and he wants to play with them. I say, here you go. Go ahead, play with them. Like, you're figuring out who you are. Like, my husband said he used to, when he was a kid, he used to play dress up and stuff like that with all his family, and he grew out of it because that's what you do. You dress up, you experiment, you figure out what you like, and a lot of times you're just mimicking someone who you love. If you grow up with a bunch of older sisters, they're probably going to end up playing, makeup with you and makeover and doing all that stuff. If you're a little girl and you grow up with a bunch of brothers, you're going to be outside playing in the backyard and roughhousing and stuff like that. And it's up to that kid to figure out what they like. And the idea that just because you might be a little bit more of a masculine woman or a little bit more of an effeminate male makes you the other gender or the other sex or however you want to phrase it is just wild to me, because masculinity and femininity aren't these solid rock foundations that everyone fits into. Everyone is a range of both of those things,
They're affirming everything the right says about gender norms by trying to push their kids into gender norms. So they're actually affirming everything they're supposedly fighting against.
All right. Expand on that a little bit.
The other way.
While Kara, I'm sorry, right side. While this is going on, I'm flipping cameras and things. I got to take a pee. Go ahead, expand on what you were talking about. They're affirming gender norms, and just kind of expand a little bit.
Well, if gender is fluid, then there should be no transgender community.
Explain.
Because why transfer from a man to a woman if there's no gender, if gender is fluid? If gender is only in your head, why change your biological body?
Oh.
If it's only up here and it's just gender's just in your head, and I can identify as a galactic space warrior, and my fucking pronouns are zing zang jing jing jing, then why the fuck do I need to go bother getting a sex change? Because it doesn't matter. Gender's fluid. It's in your head. There's 200,000 genders. So there should be, now they've not only erased the gay community because we're now non-binary and this, and so there's no more gay community. They've completely changed the definition of lesbian. Now not only can a lesbian be attracted to a man, but a lesbian can be a man.
And she has to like a man.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she's transphobic.
That's right. If you don't like transgender women, you're transphobic because you don't want the penis. So now they've erased the gay community and they've erased the trans community because it's all in your head. You don't need to change your body. So therefore, if you are changing your body and telling your kids that you can be a boy or a girl, you're affirming everything the straight people have been saying, which is affirmed. If you've ever watched what Ashley was saying, if you've ever watched a kid grow up, you know that boys go for the boy toys and girls go for the girl toys, and it has nothing to do with anything they see on TV or anything else. That's just how they are.
Yes.
Then there is no LGBT. So you need to take the whole LGBT off of your community and just call it the gender fluid blah 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 community, which is fine if that's what you want to do. If you want to go around and call yourself whatever you want to call yourself and be whoever you want to be, go do that and leave me the fuck out of it.
Hey, I'm going to give you that. I will push back a little bit. The LGB community, and this is what I was talking about. This is kind of the whole topic, and for me, and this is why I labeled this stream this, and I did get input for everybody involved as far as the naming this. Like I said at the beginning, LGB is a sexuality. You were attracted to that person. You know, you got your lesbians, same sex women are attracted to women. You got your gay community, men are attracted to men. You got your bisexual community, people attracted to both sexes. Now you got transgender, which is an ideology. Okay, you want to change that. You got your Q, which is I don't know what the fuck I am. You got your IAQ2 spirit motherfucker. I don't even fucking know anymore. What you
Let
want
me
to talk about?
interject. Intersex is actually a real thing. That's people who are biologically born half of each sex
Well, yes.
that had a problem. So that's a real thing. That's a physical thing that happens to them, though. So they're kind of on their own too because they don't have a choice. They're literally born that way.
Well, and that's frustrating too because that's literally a genetic anomaly.
Right.
Like those people aren't a third gender. There's a lot of different combinations of what could
They're
be
still
going on.
male or female.
Exactly.
Well, hold up.
Either male or female, genitals. And,
Let me ask you a serious question, and this is why I say, people say there are only two genders, male and female. Okay, I'm going to give a little pushback on this. Okay, if you were born with both sets of sexual organs that work, can you call yourself male or female?
No, they're not. Though.
There are.
That's not how it is.
There's not been one person to have both that are fully functioning. It is there. Like I said, there's a lot of different combinations of what could be going on, but generally, it's either to do with like your chromosomes, like there's a chromosomal abnormality, or there's like you have a male primary sex characteristics with like a secondary female character. Like there's just a lot of different things. You could have testes that are like never dropped, like that they're inside of you, and you have like what appears to be female parts. Like there's just a whole bunch of things, but there is not one person who could impregnate and get pregnant. Not one person.
It's not. It's like people who are born with a hand, but they only have a certain amount of fingers. It doesn't. They function and they're people, and there's nothing wrong with them except for the fact that, first of all, intersex people, none of them can get pregnant. I don't think none of them can get pregnant, but I could be wrong on there. But it doesn't.
I would assume they're infertile just because. I would assume they're infertile just because of how their genetic.
Yeah,
because I was quickly looking up. Yeah, because I was looking at one real quick right now. A case of intersex, which would be a man that biologically is male, but second sex characteristics of a female, which is the case is called androgen insensitivity syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Completely looks feminine, but DNA wise is male.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
So the whole, all right, the whole point I was trying to make, if you're born with both sets of sexual organs, can you call yourself male or can you call yourself female? Would that not be a third gender if you are both? Number one. Number two.
Because it doesn't work that way.
No. If you were, I mean, we are determined at birth by our sexual organs, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of intersex people who don't know that they're intersex for a very long time because to doctors, they appear as one sex, and then during the course of their life, something occurs where, more testing is done, they get MRIs, they get, they get other things done to them, and then they're like, oh man, whoa, you've got this going on, and we never knew about that, and, we got to make sure that we're getting the right treatment.
Hey, what's that prostate doing there?
Goes back to
if you were born,
I was not expecting that, but go ahead.
Abel, go ahead. You keep trying to make a point.
Yeah,
like I was trying to say with the androgen insensitivity syndrome, they can have an entire growing up. They could be considered feminine, female, whatever you want. Have uterus and genitals of that of female, but like I said, go back to DNA. It's actually male. They don't even know. And I was looking online, and it's like, yeah, they might have vaginas and everything, but they're never gonna menstruate.
Okay, so with that include,
it's a genetic anomaly. It's the exception to the rule. Like you wouldn't say just because somebody is born with 9 fingers that people have 9 fingers. You would say people generally have 10 fingers, but there are anomalies that, you know, not like there's a lot of people in this world. Not everyone, you know, has the exact same development, and things happen in utero. A lot of the times, a lot of intersex, I think this is what it is. I might be wrong on this point, but from memory, a lot of times intersex can occur, especially when there is an additional amount of testosterone that the developing baby experiences in utero. Like that affects your development. You know, if you are bombarded with a bunch of hormones that shouldn't be there. So
have something. I mean, 3 out of the 4 of us right now are wearing glasses.
Well, hold on. 4 out of 4 of us wear glasses. This son of a bitch just doesn't because he's on camera. Stop playing like that's a thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll bet you we all wear different glasses for different reasons. I wear glasses because I'm damn old.
Right.
I've had eye surgery because of things. We each have something. If you one thing I learned from going down the rabbit hole is if you start looking at people, we are all physically fucked up.
Oh, of course.
In some way, shape, and form.
Hold up.
None of us are perfect.
To bring this to a whole thing, like Abel's he's shaking his head. I see you in camera, but I'm nearsighted.
I have
Ashley?
perfect eyesight, unlike a drunken over here.
You're a son of a bitch and liar.
I've never worn glasses, and I don't. If I did, you would have seen that on camera.
Stop lying for the camera, asshole.
I am not lying.
All right, Ashley, are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I can't ever remember. My eyes don't focus correctly. So I have a mid field. Like I can't see far away, but if I take my glasses off, I also can't read small text up close because my eyes don't focus correctly.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird thing. My eyes are fucking. They're weird. They're super.
I'm nearsighted, and I have astigmatism, and I have narrow angles, and I've had a double laser iridotomy on my eyes.
Oh, so you've done some shit.
Yeah. You know, if you know what a laser iridotomy is, they take a laser and shoot a hole in your iris.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I've seen that shit.
Yeah. I got a piece of wood stuck in my eye one time, and they had to get it out, and they had to it was so horrible.
Oh.
So I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah. Well, so we all have something. We all have something, and then as you get older, when you start getting to my age, you have a lot of somethings.
And that just goes into actual genetics as a whole. Like when you take 2 strands, half a strand of a DNA, half a strand of DNA, something's going to get fucked up along the way. Okay, which is why you have people with, you have X and Y chromosomes, you have X and X chromosomes. There is somebody who have XXY, which is the Down syndrome community. Which, yeah,
we all came from the same source, so
Right. It comes down to a whole point to where genetics fucks up along the way, which is kind of plays into the whole intelligent design versus evolution theory kind of situation, which Ashley, I still want to have that conversation with you and your husband. We still need to have that conversation because I think that'll be great. But y'all don't understand it. It's just like this whole from a straight white male who has been attacked on every fucking single angle from every fucking thing because we're the patriarchy, we're the devil, we're everything that everybody fucking hates, apparently. Even though we straight white men are the backbone of, I don't want to say society, but we are the backbone of everything, because without us, you wouldn't exist. Without women, I wouldn't exist, kind of situation. Y'all need to stop. Straight up. You just need to stop with it, okay? You have turned an entire community, the LGB community, you have turned into a fad to where now it's, I don't even fucking know anymore. LGBTQ plus AI2 plus extra AAAIP. What? Now we're trying to put, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't give a shit. I know I was trying to bring this back and saying, not trying to say this. This is going up fucking Rumble. I don't give a shit. Whatever, fucking YouTube. Go fuck yourself. Now you're trying to bring pedophiles into the fucking community. People who prey on children into the community to be a protected class, to where they are the ones who you can't say shit against. Which is why groomer is now fucking bannable on Twitter. It's bannable on Reddit. The people who prey on children are being fucking taken care of. Are you kidding me?
Twitter and Reddit are tools for groomers. That's why groomer is banned on them.
Maps got big on Twitter. The map community occurred years ago. That started gaining traction years ago. And like, I remember watching a shoe on head video on that, like three years ago or some shit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when she started talking about that, I was just like, what is happening? And so many people said right then, when that term came out, maps, watch what's gonna happen. They're gonna just keep trying to gain traction, trying to.
Is it with or without an S?
It's with an S.
Minor attracted people.
Yeah, minor attracted person, minor attracted people.
Well, just because I'm attracted to minors doesn't mean I'm abusing them. Really?
Well, the rates of that prove you wrong.
All of these things are run. Most social media is run by chomos.
Hold on. You are fucking correct. Let me ask you a question. Why the fuck is CNN? Why the fuck is Disney coming up with so many goddamn pedophile rings?
Nickelodeon.
Because Walt Disney was a pedophile?
Yes.
Walt Disney was a pedophile.
Yes, he was.
That I did not know.
Which is why Adult Swim. Which is why.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. Give Ashley a minute. No, repeat that again, Ashley.
Do you guys know about Alfred Kinsey?
Isn't he the? Wait, before you say who it is, I want to make sure I'm shooting right. But isn't he the one who is one of the fathers regarding the transgender stuff?
Yeah, he's known as the father of the sexual revolution. Okay, and the Kinsey scale. This Kinsey scale is still used today, and that is the scale to determine sexuality, like how gay or straight you are. Which was he came up with that really arbitrarily. I haven't gotten to that far into my research yet to know all the ins and outs of that, but I've been learning about
Alfred Kinsey. He worked with the one that everyone knows, John Money.
John Money.
And he was backed by the Rockefellers. That's who funded his research and he did this during World War II. He did this research during World War II, and he abused and tortured. That's the only way to describe it. Tortured thousands of children to get his data for his books of what are his books called? The sexual development of the human male, and then the sexual development of the human female, I believe they're called. And to get that data, he abused and just straight up tortured so many like the accounts of it they made me sick. like it's hard to listen to, it's hard to get through, but he is the one who he tried to push because he was supposedly like a closeted homosexual or a closeted bisexual or something along those lines, and he basically got married for a beard to be taken seriously at a time where, you know, he tried to look like a conservative person so that people would take him seriously and actually listen to him. And he has influenced sexual education in schools. He has influenced basically everything that we're going through right now. He was the start of. And
Right.
normalizing normalizing fans of the playground. And it's really, really scary when you get into it because, you know, a lot of people think the sexual revolution was simply about, you know, just kind of loosening the boundaries of purity culture and all of that. And it's got a much more sinister background and it's a lot scarier. And me personally, like, I don't care what sexuality you are, as opposed, you know, when in regards to like, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're like, whatever, you do you love who you want to love, as long as you're not hurting fucking children. I don't give a shit. But that's a clear line in the sand that we should all be able to agree on, and all be 100% like, yep, we don't go there. We leave those kids alone and we let them grow up and figure out who they are. But just the fact that nobody knows about Alfred Kinsey and who he really was and the fucked up shit he did. I mean, he had sex with like his entire staff. Like, he forced them into doing orgies and all kinds of shit during World War II, at a time when this was unspeakable and illegal. Like, all the acts he did were 100% illegal at that time. And it was just his push to normalize pedophilia in the end. It's very, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you good? Fuck it. Whatever. This is going on fucking Rumble. Whether it gets taken down by YouTube and we take a break for a week. I don't give a shit. This needs to be said.
The truth is that right now, worldwide, not just in the United States, the narrative that they want to push is that it is normal and natural for grown adults to have intimate relations with children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. And they do it subtly. They've been doing it subtly for a long time, and they're getting more and more bold with it. They're getting more and more outward with it because they have groomed the public through Disney, through movies, through music, through, you know, was the rap music. There's a lot of it in rap music. There's a lot of it. Even if you go back to the 80s and 70s music, you can hear it. It's there. They've groomed through all their rituals that they're doing at the Olympics, at concerts, at the Super Bowl, all of it. They have been grooming people to get it in their head that what they're doing is supposedly okay. But now they have a problem because a bunch of us have woken up and we're like, no.
Right.
So now it's a problem for them.
And honestly, if you say that children can consent to medical procedures that will permanently alter their bodies forever, what else are you going to say that they can consent to? Because last I knew, kids can't consent whatsoever to anything. Right. So if you let this continue, you know, if everybody starts letting this continue, it's going to happen. That's going to be the next thing. Because quite honestly, like, I don't see any other way around it. Because once you remove that boundary of consent, they can consent to everything, supposedly, you know?
And now California is a sanctuary state for kids, or he's trying to make it so. I don't know if he did or not. But if
Senate Bill 107.
Parents won't let you transition, you can go there. Huh? Yeah, California, right?
Senate Bill 107, yes. If you are a minor in a state that does not allow you to transition, let's use the state of Florida. Do you know what Florida recently did, Carol?
Yeah, they made it so that you cannot transition your kid.
Mm-hmm. There was a roundtable, and they had a ruling. It's still being processed. They're still working on it, but they are working to ban it for minors, if my memory serves me right. I will have to double check with the state, with the Secretary of State, on that.
And I'm gonna be straight up honest. DeSantis is a badass.
Actually, would you want a conversation with them, with someone from DeSantis' administration here?
Oh, you fucking straight up. Let's do it.
I want to get in on that.
Yeah, let's have a little roundtable discussion.
Hello, let's go.
Yeah, I'm in. If I would love to represent the lesbians in that at least some lesbians in that conversation.
So like I was saying, so Florida is currently working on that. Yours truly over here actually was part of the roundtable to assist in that.
Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, but California is doing the opposite. They're obviously saying minors can do this. Definitely, the state will pay for it, especially if children who cannot consent.
Hold on. Isn't it California?
Future president.
Isn't it California that also was trying to lower the age of consent to like 12, 13 years old? And
14. And it did.
And it worked. They went through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And saying that if you are HIV positive and you purposely pass it on to somebody,
here's
it's not a crime.
You want to know what's the best part about that? Those bills were all passed by the same person, Senator Scott Wiener.
Oh, you're talking about the son of a bitch
himself.
Yeah, the son of a bitch who literally texted his fucking dick to children.
Yep.
Now that I didn't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, he fucking did it.
Horrible.
Senator Wiener also during one of the, I believe it was Senate Bill 107, a young girl who transitioned at the age of 13, period blockers, had double mastectomy at 15, and at 17 realized she made a mistake, has been testifying, who was also part of Florida roundtable, was being harassed by Wiener, or that's how I see it. But he was very dismissive of her and saying, I don't recall exactly what he said in person, but obviously dismissed everything she said and her experience of how quickly she was allowed to transition. Wiener did the same thing to another friend of mine, another detrans woman in her 30s, when there was another Senate bill that he proposed that did pass and is currently working on being passed just to get the finalization, which was Senate Bill 923, if I remember correctly. Which, just for those who don't know what that means, is if you're transgender, gender nonconforming, and or intersex, and you go to a medical professional and you don't like what they said and or did, and you file a complaint with them, they have to get mandatory training. Now, who's doing the mandatory training? I'm going to bet transgender activists, because in the same paperwork that was submitted, there was a list of organizations, and I recognized 2 out of I don't know how many of those but they were all transgender activist organizations, trans rights. Yeah.
Activists supersede doctors, and it's absolutely appalling.
Now, I was also a part of opposing the Senate Bill 923. If my memory serves me correct. And halfway through my conversation, because I was allowed to speak on the phone, I was dismissed by Wiener and hung up on early.
Of course. Well, this is also a state that literally tried to repeal their Civil Rights Act.
Oh,
right?
and during that phone conversation, they allowed and they gave you a little extra time if you were in support of the bill.
Now, of course.
I don't live in California anymore.
What do you think? I'm in Texas now.
You know what's so messed up is they're so progressive, they're regressing. Like that's what
they're
happening.
They're actually devolving the entire state.
Yep, and they're trying to take the rest of the country with them.
And the whole state will implode. And now Newsom's talking about running for president.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, who else do they have?
Whoa. All right.
They have
I'm
AFC.
not going to put Kamala up. Kamala's the most unlikable person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hold on.
They have
You're talking about that. Now, no, hold on. You're talking about Tulsi Gabbard, who literally fucking nuked Kamala Harris during the debates. She fucking nuked her by bringing up all the, the Willie Brown situation, keeping people in jail beyond their sentence because of free labor and everything. She fucking nuked Kamala Harris. Tulsi Gabbard went shooting straight up with the Democratic Party as far as backing everything. Kamala Harris didn't get a single goddamn motherfucking vote.
No, she got about.
Why is she the fucking vice president? What?
That's who they want as the vice president.
She got between 1% to 5% of votes.
No, she didn't even get that, dude.
No,
she didn't even get that.
Don't take me down that rabbit hole.
She didn't get shit. I'm serious. She didn't get shit.
My computer is going to die.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. So if I poof, my computer's at 8%, and I live off the grid. For those of you watching, I do not have power in my house right now. I'm working with a lantern.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
so I can go turn on power, but it's going to be really loud.
You're good. You're good. Should we go ahead and end this right now, though?
Yeah. Yeah, we have been going for about almost 2.5 hours. Let me verify.
2 hours, 11
2 hours.
minutes.
Yeah, I was off by a bit.
All right, I appreciate the hell out of you. Right side, I definitely want you back on. I want you back on. To. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think I would love to come back on anytime. This is just Ashley and Abel and you and beer, and this is great. I love the conversation, and I can have conversations about lots of other things too. And yeah, I would love to do that. Love to.
Right on. Ashley, again, woman, I fucking love you. You're awesome. Camera's on you right now. You are awesome. I love the hell out of you. Every single time we have a conversation,
you're married though.
Great. Both of us are married. It doesn't matter. She's an awesome ass woman.
Platonic love.
Right.
No, I'm just giving him a hard time.
Every time I have you on, it's an awesome conversation. No matter what we get into, there's always something that we're going to be different on. There's always something that's going to spark a conversation that we can have, and you make me think, and I hope it do the same as well. But again, I'd love to have that religion talk with you and your husband, like we had talked about before. We need to make that happen. I think that's going to be great. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been really great. And it's been really great talking to Abel. Haven't gotten a chance to talk to him before, although he didn't talk a whole lot, but I would definitely like to come on.
That's typical with me. Very typical. You can verify I was drunken.
Oh, yeah, that is the thing. His ass doesn't talk a lot. He just kind of, when he does, I'm just like, what is this button again? Hold on. But
well,
yeah.
I like him. He brings you have a lot of knowledge about the legislation happening, and I really appreciate that. I have a lot of knowledge about ideology in general, but it's hard to keep up with legislation. So I really like having sources of people who really keep on top of that stuff, and it's just a lot. It's a lot going on all over the place, so it's always hard to keep on.
Well, to be fair, I only really know because I only really know now because I have been given the opportunity to speak to legislators, and I will be continuing to doing that. Can't say much right now as I'm currently in the process of working it, but this year I will be working more with legislators. So if you don't see me here that often anymore, that's probably why.
Well, keep fighting the good fight, good sir, because we need a lot more people like you doing that.
And that is why this son of a bitch is literally MIA every fucking time we do this shit. But yeah.
I'm doing something. I am usually busy. Hey, look, I know the podcast is the two of us, but my ass
never
is
just
needed
the
here in
two of us.
Texas.
I'm trying. I'm trying to do something while you working in the back end. I get you. I give you hell. I do. I give you hell, but you're doing a lot more. I get you. I'm drunk as shit right now. I apologize. I got the drunken
And
hiccups.
on that note, since he is beyond drunk. He is a Drunken Senpai. He has evolved from Drunken Senpai to the Drunkest Senpai. And because Carol's laptop is dying, Carol, we'll be leaving off on this note. Carol, anything would you like to say to the viewers before we end tonight's stream?
Don't give up the fight for the children.
You're damn right.
Ashley?
Yeah. I'd say the same. Look into this stuff a lot more. Fight, push back. If you have a kid out there who is questioning who they are and their gender, gently push back against them. Remind them who they are. Remind them where they came from, and remind them that you are supportive and loving, and they don't have to change who they are to just be who they are.
All right, guys.
Abel, your last thoughts?
Well, I do appreciate the two ladies we have for today's stream and the great topics that we had today. Now, before we head out for today, the Drunken Senpai, anything you'd like to tell the viewers?
You're damn right. I got a lot of things I want to say, but I will leave off with this. Ladies and gentlemen, look, kids are our future. And if we're trying to pervert them to a point to where this is the normal, where people are abusing, people are going above and beyond what they should be from the protectorial. I don't even know how to say it, but from the protector role, we're going to fall as a society because our children are our future. You may push back, you may say whatever, but listen to me. When we die, who picks up our fucking mantle? That's the thing. When we're gone, who lives on? And if we're fucking up our children, every bit of that future that we survive, how are we no different than the Roman Empire who fell? We got a president who likes to sniff kids. Every single fucking one of our legislative, every bit of our government has been implicated in some shit. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't fucking matter. We need to start looking. We need to start paying attention. And we need to start turn off your LED god and start looking into the shit yourself. Read these bills, form your own damn opinion. This is why we are here. This is what we are doing. This is the voice of the fucking people. I don't give a shit how you feel. I really don't. I don't give a shit if your ideology clashes with me or Abel or anybody else. As long as we can have that conversation, this is why we are here. To bridge that divide for you to understand me and for me to understand you. This is why we are here. That's my final thought.
All right. The Drunkest Senpai, do you mind signing us off?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all the rants and all the bullshit. Y'all have been great. I know I kind of avoided chat a little bit tonight, and I apologize for that. Very, yeah, very. But this was one of those conversations with like me and Dr. Root and Travis from Flip the Script podcast. It was a damn good conversation. I didn't want to kind of interrupt the flow, which was kind of worked out. And I apologize that I didn't get to y'all. But I want you to remember this. No matter what, you have a voice, and it's important. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit down. Let's have a conversation. Have a good night. Y'all take care.